Hello, the game has started. It's my opponent to go first. I have a balanced rack. I don't think there is a bingo here, 7 or 8, but I will have a lot of candidate plays. Fantastic start by my opponent. A bingo, 76 points. So what can I do? I think the first thing to do is consider whether I do have a bingo. And I'm just looking at the tiles in order from Ivoried. Not seeing anything so far. No, so I can't see a play. My focus now turns to the 3 high-scoring tiles on my rack to see if I can play off at least 2 of them. And my preference is to play off the Y and the W because they are the least bingo-y. I can't see a double-double. I can see Yow, which I think leaves the best rack leave, but the score's pretty dismal, 17 points. What about playing Swoopy through the O? 28 points, 11 more points, but burning the S. I think I prefer to play Yow. But is there something better than either? Maybe something through the R. Close to worry. Not seeing anything. Okay, so I think this is the best I can see, but I'm not very happy with it. And that's pretty shocking. 2 U's, but this time no bingo. In my previous game, I had Sutured after drawing 2 U's. No such joy here. Close to U few eyes. Now I do have Hapu on my rack, which plays above Yow. So I think this is a playing rack rather than a changing one. I can't see a double-double through the O. The V doesn't help my rack. Is there a way of playing off both U's? I've got the up prefix onto a D. I would have up Haud, H-A-U-D. Just wondering if I do have U few eyes onto a floater, and I don't. That's an 8-letter play. Opponent continuing to score well, 28 points. I don't have anything from the F. I have Poo Poo through the P. That doesn't score very much. And my opponent has taken my Hapu spot. But he has provided a new one. Again, a pretty lame score and a pretty rubbish rack leave, but this is better than changing. I suspect I've missed something better on both of these plays. This does, however, keep the board open, play off one of the U's, and does score over 20 points, so it's not a disaster. Hapu would have played underneath Ivoried, as well as above it, but both of those have been blocked by my opponent. That looks a little better. I'm drawn to the R of Ivoried. Now I have Suicides through the I. Great, that stays available. Not so great that my opponent bingos again, and he's had both of the blanks and now has a 150-point lead, so I'm in pretty grim shape. However, still 61 tiles in the bag, so it is retrievable, and I am sitting with a bingo on my rack. So I have Suicides, and I'm playing this. I don't think anything else is going to score much better. So Suicides for 80. Well, I do, of course, have a second position in column 3 for it, but that doesn't get doubled. Wow, I have Armoured. That plays in column 13, making Fad. Does it play anywhere else? It doesn't play in column 2, which is a shame. Now this board is wide open, which is great since I'm trailing. And hopefully also there are quite a lot of spots for my opponent to play, and he may leave alone my bingo lane. This is quite a nice rack. There could easily be a second bingo here. There could even be an anagram of armoured. I think Rormed may be good. Let me just check that. No, it's not good. So it is just armoured as a 7, I think. But quite a few floaters to consider, so there could be an 8 here. Possibly mortared through the T. That doesn't play. Can't see anything with the Y. What about the I? And there are a couple of I's on the board, or 3 in fact. Armoried, not good, I don't think. I've got drome as a prefix, so what about airdrome through the Eye of Suicides? Quite a few drome words. Airdrome is one of them. Fantastic. So I should be bingoing. I don't think my opponent can block both of those plays. And my preference will be to play armoured because it gets doubled, whereas airdrome is pretty much face value. So, is there a third bingo? What about the O of Ivoried? Possibly a double-double. Not seeing anything immediately. Nope, not seeing anything with longer reflection either. Well, there could be a third bingo, but I'm confident that one of the two I've spotted will play. It would, however, be good to spot a third bingo, because if I'm stuck with the face value bingo, it could be significantly worse than a better bingo. Wow, look at that. Another bingo from my opponent. Fantastic play. Chigatai. Alternative spelling of Dzigatai. And my opponent zooms into a 140-point lead. I thought I was clawing him back, but I'm not. He's zooming off. Now, does this C help me? I do have my bingo in column 13 with armoured. But there is a C available. Possibly caromed with double R, but that doesn't play. Well, probably a big miss if there is one, or certainly a big miss if there is one, but I can't see a play. So I'm going with armoured for 79. And my run of 2 bingos ends. I'm 60 points behind my opponent. My opponent's on turn. And I've got a Grimish rack. I can probably play off the cue. Or definitely play it off, but the rack leave is likely to be problematic for next go. I could easily be keeping 4 or 5 consonants. So I have Chi and AI in column 14. That's pretty rubbish, because the cue is next to the triple word square and there are 3 I's unseen. I've got Chi and Is in column 2 for a very low score. Chi and It in column 11. But all these Chi plays are leaving 5 consonants not good. So what about the U of annuity? Do I have a play through that? Well, I have quid. That's certainly better than any of the QI plays. But it doesn't feel great. It's keeping F and G. Onto an H, I would have feek. So I do have feek in row B, but it's placing a vowel underneath the triple word square, which is just gifting my opponent points. So although it's the best rack leave of the moves I've considered, it's not the best play. At the moment, I'm thinking of quid. I have chin in row J. Now that's the biggest score, 32 points. Four more points than quid. But burning off that extra consonant is definitely worth 4 points. 4 consonants are a lot better than 5, but even 4 is pretty poor. 14 minutes on my clock. I'm not seeing anything better. And this is a volatile play because quid takes an S, but only 2 S's to come. I could have both of them. And it could be my only way back into this game. So quid for 28. That is the danger of keeping 4 consonants. This is a dreadful, dreadful rack, especially when you're 70 points behind. Another bingo from my opponent, 86 points. He is on fire. I'm now 150 points behind. 24 tiles in the bag, but I don't think that's enough. So, what to do here? Probably play through this because of score and rack lead, not for any other reason. And I'm probably in the position of minimizing my losing spread here. I think the chances of winning this game are effectively 0. So do I have a play through O and E? Well, I do. I have foment. It does keep double G. But I'm just not seeing anything better. So foment for 22. I draw the X. I draw an E. So I've got the E for going in front of quids. However, 4 of them still to come. So opponent could well be going there. He doesn't. But he does get 60 points for Joyed. So he's having a fantastic game. I have no vowels for going underneath the J. 4 A's and an O to come. I don't have a D for XED. I can play Lex. 28 points. Is there something better? I have telex on my rack. Can't see anywhere for that. Can't see anything great up in the top right of the board. Around armoured or happy. So what about a play in column 6, getting the X tripled? A play ending XER? Well, I'm not seeing it with this rack. 3 T's and 2 L's to come. I can't see a way of playing off the G with the X. However, no more G's to come. So, Lex for 28. Well, let me play text in that spot to split up the duplicates. Text for 28. I draw a V. No vowels. So, fairly grim stuff. Opponent now nearly 200 points ahead. And I'm sitting with this rack. So, what to do? Board pretty tight. And a strange looking board, not many parallel plays. Opponent surely has an A or O for playing in row O. Well, he doesn't. He doesn't play there, rather. He does have an A and an O. So he could have played Lazo in row O. But he gets more points by playing it where he has done. So, what can I do here? 9 tiles in the bag. Really struggling to see anything. Nothing goes in front of ZA. My G can go after it, but I don't have an A for going after AH. 10 minutes on my clock. So I could play a leg here. It's 17 points. I think it is better than changing. It's not going to change the outcome of this game. There's a good chance I will draw some vowels. If I draw an A, I've got vag in column 11. So leg for 17. I dodge all of the A's. I do have one vowel, however. And ahai is good, so I have vig, ahai, and zag. That stays available. 33 points for my opponent. He's zoomed through the 500-point mark. So I have vil in row A. 2 tiles in the bag. 21 points for vil. 26 points for vig. I'm going with vig. I do draw an A at the death. Look at that, opponent with 5 vowels on his rack. I have just the one. I don't think I'm going to be able to go out in 1 with this rack. My W can go between E and T, but I can't place my T next to the S and play the W. I have want in row F, making nigh and Todd as well. I have wall in row A. I have want in column 4, making ST. None of these plays particularly stellar. And none of them use my S, so is there anything I can do with my S? I could stick it on the end of foments. Well, I can't do much with it there. I think STAW is the best I can see. 22 points, that might be my best play. I think it partly depends whether my opponent can go out in 2 from this position. If he can, then I get just the 1 go. Bracero takes an S, but nothing goes on the end of suicides. I have twal and twals on my rack. I can't see anywhere for the latter. Twal does play in row F. Only 17 points. I have swan and snore, as well as store in row M. My W can go next to the A of armoured, but I would need an E to go after the R. So that's no good for me. I have wax onto the X, but that isn't better to any plays I've already considered. In fact, it's worse. Now I have an A for making far, so I do have war in column 6. But again, that's not better than the swan play. In fact, Sawn, I think, is the best in this spot. So Sawn for 23. Just looking to see if my opponent's provided anything. And I think he may have done. Not for me to go out, but just a better play than Sawn. Saw for 29. Now, is that better? Because, look at my opponent's rack. Can he go out? He doesn't have a 4-letter play on his rack. I've got 9 minutes left. Let me just pull this back. So I can see what my opponent's got. He's got A, E, I, T. So onto a T, he would have Tatey. Neither of the T's I'm looking at in Chigatai and Ferment work. So if he doesn't go out, and I don't think he can, then I need to plan an out in 2, and Saw does not do the job. Does Sawn do the job? Sawn would leave me with LT. Do I have an out in 2 spots with LT, or indeed in 1 spot? Nope, I don't. is there really nowhere for me to play off 5 tiles? So if I played, I don't think there is, to answer my question, a place for 5 tiles. What about playing want? Keeping LS. Maybe I should just, well, there's Lods is good. Maybe I should be playing in this row, keeping the S. So that's 23 points. Do I have 2 spots for LS? I've got ALS. And I have else. Okay, I think I'm going with this. I'm not providing my opponent an out. I do have an out or outs, but they may both be blocked. But I'm playing this. So opponent with AEIT. Do I have any more places for just LS? Great, ALS remains available. 19 points for my opponent. So I'm looking for the best spot to play LS. Else has been blocked. Lops doesn't work. Okay, I can't see anything better. There may be something, but I'm not seeing it. Else for 3. And the final score, 348 to me, 569 to my opponent, a winning margin of 221 points. So a huge, huge win for my opponent. Let's see what I missed. Absolutely fantastic game for my opponent. 569 is a vast score. So it was my opponent to go fast. He had Ivoried, which was a good spot. My rack, Whoopie for 26. Okay, that would have been quite nice. What did I do? I did Yow for 17. Yeah, I think Whoopie a better play. Opponent's rack, no bingo, but quite a bingo-y looking rack. Plays Pelf. Now I have Hapu and Pooha in column 10. Nice rack for my opponent. He has Annuity, which is another good spot. But I'm able to come back with Suicides. Discures through the R also available, which I didn't see. Now this is fantastic play by my opponent. Chigatai for 74. He also has Teaching and Cheating. Now I have Armoured for 79 and Aerodrome B5. Wow, look at that. That's quite nice through the O and the E. But Armoured a better play. Opponent's rack, and he's 60 points ahead at this point. Plays Bracero to go 100 in the lead, and I'm stuck with this rack. And this is the point at which I think I struggle for the remainder of the game. And my opponent just extends his lead from 100 to 200 points. So I thought about Chin. I preferred Quid. But I also have Quilt, which would have been better. 3 consonants, a lot better than 4. Even if it opens up column 15. Opponent then has Ronions, which he wouldn't have had after Quilt. And I'm stuck with 7 consonants. I play Ferment, which looks fine. Wow, look at that. Opponent would have had Jolt head through the H if it weren't blocked by the A of Armoured. But he does have Joyed for 64, and at this point he is 200 points ahead with 16 tiles in the bag. I have Lex and Tex for 35. Well, that's only 28, so where are they scoring 35? 013. Okay, underneath Joyed. Opponent now has 53 for Lazo. And I have this grim-looking rack. I play leg for 17. Vel, f6. Yeah, Vel would have been better. Opponent plays cuter. And what do? I play Vig for 26. That looks okay. Nothing massively better. And now we're into the end game. Opponent plays B. And I was looking for an out in 2, given that my opponent couldn't go out in 1. I don't think store does the job. Want gives me a chance of doing the job. Opponent does not have an out. Plays Vegi. And, well, there is an alternative to Als. D7. Slop. I thought about Lop and Lops, and I missed Slop. So Slop was the play at the end. So, quite a game. Absolute. Well, not so much a roller coaster, because a roller coaster has ups and downs, and this was all downs for me. It was just a fantastic game from my opponent, an absolute blast of bingos from him, and high-scoring non-bingo plays. So well done again to him, and I hope you enjoyed watching that game, and I will see you next time.